Good evening. It's about 8:30 here in South Austin, Texas, on Friday, the 3rd of October. This evening's discourse is on a new subject called Adambhitvam, Adambhitvam, and it's found in classical sources and reflections by modern commentators like myself, James Exum, also known as Sakshi. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to comment on this important subject. Now, the Gita, the Bhagavad Gita, famously describes fearlessness, which is the definition of Adambhitvam, as a vital quality for spiritual aspirants. Fearlessness, quote, purity of heart, steadfastness in knowledge and yoga, unquote. That quote's from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, verse 1, places Adambhitvam alongside virtues essential for self-realization. So it's an important virtue to have. Well, even outside of yoga philosophy, which I'm an old yogi philosopher, it's very important, just in life in general. Likewise, the Upanishads echo the sentiment asserting when one knows the self, quote, one becomes fearless, and that's from the Mundaka Upanishad 2.2.7. These ancient texts underscore the link between inner truth and the dissolution of fear. Sankara, the revered philosopher and theologian from the 8th century CE, offered commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, further clarifies Adambhitvam as, quote, absence of hypocrisy. It's the natural state of one who has transcended the ego. Now, transcending the ego is one of the most important elements of becoming enlightened, of reaching moksha. It's one of the most important ones. The ego basically is what bounds us to the earth. That and all the sins and negativity that's wrapped up in the human ego and caused by the human ego. In such a person, fear vanishes, for there is nothing left to defend. We're talking about someone that's transcended the ego. Sankara perspective highlights how fearlessness is not merely an emotional state, but the fruit of spiritual maturity and humility. In this case, the fruit of an action that's performed for the sake of elevating yourself in the field of yoga is considered acceptable. Normally, you do not seek fruit from your action. Normally, you just do the action as a devotion to the Creator, who is Brahman, the Creator. Contemporary scholars, such as myself, have also contributed value insights into the subject of fearlessness. I quote myself as having written, fearlessness arises not from denial of vulnerability, but from embracing it openly. When we lay down our masks, which is what Jung called the persona, we discover a courageous authenticity that transforms self and society. In other words, the more sincere you are, the less hypocritical you are, the more as self, true self, that you can become, is very relevant in modern life, as it was in ancient times. It invites the individuals to cultivate sincerity and integrity in daily interactions. And nowadays, with all the upheaval in politics and the economics that's going on in the United States, sincerity is something that should be practiced and shared amongst our fellow Americans. These commentaries and historical sources demonstrate that Adambhitvam is a timeless ideal, bridging the wisdom of the past with the challenges of the present. Whether through the words of ancient sages or contemporary thinkers, they call to us to live fearlessly, without pride or pretense. They continue to inspire seekers towards greater self-awareness and, I have this on a platform that's being supported by a drawer in my desk, and it's out of alignment here, and it looks like it's gonna, every time I reach over to move my mouse around, it looks like it's gonna fall off or something, so I'm trying to, there it is, that's much better, I think. I'm trying to straighten it out there for us. There we go. Sorry about all that. Okay, so whether through the words of ancient sages or contemporary thinkers, the call to live fearlessly without pride or pretense continues to inspire speakers towards greater self-awareness and compassion. And that was part of the introduction. Now I'm going to go into the full introduction, exploring the concept of fearlessness in philosophy and everyday life. So here we dive in for a deeper understanding. It translates, Adambhitvam translates to fearlessness, or an absence of being timidity. This concept holds a prominent place in classical Indian philosophy, particularly in the context of personal development and spiritual growth. Well, I'm a yogi philosopher. I'm not necessarily an Indian philosopher. I'm not a Hindu. I see yoga as a science, not a religion. So I'm just an old yogi. We will explore the meaning of this Adambhitvam, its philosophical significance, and its relevance to our contemporary life. It's derived from the root word Adambha. Now, I did a video, a few videos back, on the subject of Dhamma, which refers to pride, pretense, or hypocrisy. In fact, I entitled it Hypocrisy, so if you look under my name, you'll find it, and in YouTube videos, you'll find it under hypocrisy. Or pretentiousness, but I've listed under hypocrisy. However, in many classical texts, it's also interpreted as fearlessness, an unshakable confidence that arises from inner integrity and sincerity. In the Bhagavad Gita, it's listed amongst the qualities of wise and accomplished persons. Fearlessness in this context does not imply recklessness or bravado. Rather, it denotes a calm, steady mind that is not disturbed by external circumstances because it is grounded in truth and self-awareness. The philosophical significance. Philosophers and spiritual teachers emphasize that Adambhitvam as essential for genuine self-realization. So there again, it's a very important idea. It's a very important thing to practice. Fear often arises from attachment to one's ego, possessions, or status. When a person is free from pretense and pride, they are naturally fearless, so that they have nothing to defend or prove. This state of being allows for clarity of thought and action, fostering wisdom and compassion. So you see all the benefits of this. It sounds, when I titled this, and when you see the title and you go into the video, at first you will say, well, this is rather a shallow idea, fearlessness. But it's not physical fearlessness we're talking about here. It's the fearlessness dealing with psychology, the psychology of yoga. Adambhitvam also relates to the concept of authenticity. To be fearless is to live authentically, expressing one's true self without concern for societal judgment or personal gain. Such fearlessness is not the absence of danger, but the courage to confront it with honesty and integrity. Well, we should do that regardless of knowing about this or not knowing about that. I was pretty much raised that way by my family. They were not practitioners of yoga, by the way. They were Southern Baptists. I was born in Southwest Georgia and raised out of Charleston, South Carolina. Thus the accent you're hearing. In the modern world, fear manifests itself in many forms. Fear of failure, rejection, loss, or even change. Practicing Adambhitvam means cultivating a mindset that is resilient in the face of adversity. It encourages us to act ethically, to speak truthfully, and to pursue our goals without succumbing to the pressures of conformity or dissent. This virtue can be developed through self-reflection, mindfulness, and a commitment to personal values. By recognizing the source of our fears and addressing them with sincerity, we gradually strengthen our inner resolve, our inner core, our inner determination to reach our goal of yoga. Communities and organizations also benefit when individuals embody Adambhitvam, as it fosters trust, collaboration, and innovation. And Lord, do we need that nowadays. From the school board to the White House, local school board to the White House, we need individuals that embody trust, collaboration, and innovation, not deceit and self-grandizement. Adambhitva is more than just fearlessness. It is the hallmark of a life lived with integrity, humility, and authenticity. By embracing this quality, we not only overcome personal limitations, but also contribute positively to the world around us. The world around us. In pursuit of wisdom and fulfillment, let us strive to embody Adambhitvam in thought, word, and deed. And believe it or not, that is the text and the reading and the narration and the commentary that I have on this subject. It's short and sweet. You're welcome to review it, to take notes, to look up phrases or ideas that I spoke about in Wikipedia or Yogapedia. I am not compensated for mentioning those two sources for reference and research purposes. I will say this, they're very dependable and they have aided me through the years. I started yoga in 1974, 73, 74 as a practitioner, then became a teacher, and then I moved from the physical, the asana, over to the philosophical side, the intellectual side. So here we are, and it's been a remarkable week news-wise. I keep up with current events, and one thing I'm not going to get into the personalities of politics, but I will say this. The yoga community should share these common ideas that I'm putting up to you today, and they should practice them and not preach to our friends and family about them and acquaintances, but casually mention things like this in conversation. And maybe the words will spread amongst the populace, and we'll come back to our old way of existing here in the United States, which was not perfect, but it was not wrapped in hypocrisy, and it was not conducted for self-gain. And we did not live in fear of our national politicians or our armed forces. we need to get back to that. So if you enjoyed this, I'm glad you did. If you enjoyed this, I'm glad you did. If you didn't, that's okay too. So I'll let you go, and keep the faith, my friends, and be good and honest and kind to yourself and your friends and family. Bye-bye.